everyone. I hope that this past weekend or last week you had a chance to participate in the homecoming activities. Personally, I saw the fireworks, saw the homecoming game, went tailgating with the family. We're very excited because we had 3 engineering students on the homecoming court at the 50-yard line during the game. Congratulations to Jordan Metellus, who was actually crowned homecoming royalty. So great representation by the College of Engineering. If you didn't get a chance to participate this year, well, you've got 3 more years left. So please, in the future, make it a point to attend our really exciting and fun homecoming activities. All right, regarding the course, we've got, you're moving forward with the lab. Your prototype will be due. The reason that we're asking for a prototype design this year is because inevitably students have to change their design and fix something. I can remember at the challenges in the past, you see tape, you see all kinds of weird things that have been done. We want you to have time now to develop the prototype, test it, and then make it as good as possible for the robot challenge. So take advantage of that opportunity. That time is built into your lab. Excel, we're going to be wrapping that up. So please, if you've struggled or if you have any issues, just email me. But we're going to wrap up Excel very soon. Big activities that I want to make you aware of. The Civil, Environmental, and Construction Engineering Department is hosting what they call the CECE Mixer. It will feature anywhere from 70 to 75 companies in the field of civil environmental construction, and they are offering internships for summer and during semesters, fall and spring, and full-time jobs as well, which that really doesn't apply to you just yet. I encourage all majors to attend this because this mixer, which will be in the Pegasus Ballroom on October 30th, is much more manageable than the big career fair that we had recently. And as well, they're looking for majors of all types. So do me a favor and look, when I send this information on web courses, look at it, see if there's a company that you may be able to connect with. Moving over, there's another big event coming in the themed entertainment arena. And the Steel Club, the RSO Steel Club, is hosting a panel in early November. I'll be posting that information to web courses. This panel is bringing experts from the theme entertainment industry from all over the world. And it will be held out at the Rosen Center. There's a dinner if you RSVP. And again, if that is what you're interested in, you really need to make this event. So today's lecture is featuring the Industrial Engineering and Management Systems Department. You will be hearing from the Assistant Chair of the department, Dr. Luis Rebello. Dr. Rebello is amazing. He holds 5 degrees, several of which are from MIT, and he just is an amazing individual and welcomes you to reach out to him. So when you see his email and if you have questions about this major, please be sure and contact him. What can I say about industrial engineering, except for the fact that it's a very lucrative position. I have several nieces that are currently majoring in it. They work for, Disney. We're here by the Space Mountain ride, but Disney hires industrial engineers, as do the DoD companies and whatnot. So it's a very versatile major, and there's lots of different companies that will hire industrial engineers. I've heard Dr. Rebello speak about IE over the past couple of years, and it used to be he talked about the major being very strong in optimization. But this year, you'll see he's talking about design and the fact that IEs are now kind of changing their focus to helping design better systems and helping the engineers design a better product. So optimization, they're shifting away from it, but the design aspect is really where IEs are heading. So if you're creative, you've got great organizational skills, maybe consider industrial engineering. So enjoy today's lecture, and I hope you learn a lot from it. Take care, everyone.
Good morning. My name is Luis Ravelo. I am a professor here at the Industrial Engineering and Management Systems Department. I am the undergrad director for industrial engineering. The goal of my department is to create and build the top industrial engineers in this century. Basically, IEs in general, the key word in engineering, and this is coming from a person that have been electrical, mechanical, computer engineer, and also industrial engineer, and even nuclear engineer, and maybe even aerospace engineer. The key word is design. Therefore, IEs, they design and also make systems to work better. It's a different type of engineer. Here at the department and industrial engineering, we cover all of the areas of industrial engineering. One of them is mathematical modeling, data analytics, and applied artificial intelligence. We already have 2 courses in artificial intelligence. We were the first department having in the core group an AI class, even before computer science. Also, we teach production systems. You can become a manager of a factory of Boeing, the factory of SpaceX, for example. Also, we teach facilities design. The architect designs the beauty of the building. The civil, they build the building, but inside the distribution is made by industrial engineers. They also design logistics and supply chains of like Walmart, all of those distribution centers, all of those billions of dollars invested. NASA, Kennedy Space Center, the future logistics in the moon, they are going to be designed by industrial engineers. Also, they do human interface, health, and for example, they design the size of the iPhone, how should be the size of the keyboards. That is designed by industrial engineers. And one important characteristics, cost. They know about money. Therefore, IEs, they put more emphasis in human interaction, and they have some business orientation. Therefore, you can have a bachelor in industrial engineer here at UCF with a minor in finance. You can have a bachelor of industrial engineering, and then you can have a minor in leadership or entrepreneurial if you like to make your own job. And where do you find my students? I have a big list of companies where my students, they work and they do internships. They go to Walt Disney, they go to Advent Health, they go to Apple, they go to L3 Harris, they go to Goldman Sachs. I was talking the last week with one of my students that is a supervisor of traders in New York Stock Exchange. And he worked for JP Morgan. They work for Boeing, they work for Universal, they work for NASA, they work for Tesla, they work for SpaceX, they work for AMD, they work for Lockheed Martin, they work for Texas Instruments, they work for Blue Origin, they work for Amazon, they work for Bank of America. You can see all the variety of companies that they work because everybody needs design of systems. And there are systems in all of those places. Therefore, because of this interaction with people, and usually industrial engineers are the ones that they go up in the companies. They become chairmen of DuPont. They become chairmen and presidents of General Motors. For example, Tim Cook, the chairman and president of Apple, is an industrial engineer. We have from Walmart presidents and all of that. Our department has the only astronaut. Is an alumni, Nicole Stott. And we have other students that they come here, they see the Space Coast, and they love it, and they stay in Florida. 65% of our graduate students, they stay in Florida because they love the environment. But also, companies take advantage of that, and the salaries in Florida are a little bit lower than the salaries in the nation. Therefore, you can go to Wyoming in a cabin, and you will get $120K. But then you stay in Florida, you will get $70K. That is a reality for all of the engineering disciplines in UCF. We have right now 433 students enrolled. In 2008, we were just 80 undergrad. Right now we have 433, and we have the highest growth in the nation. 40% of our students are females, and 82% of our students, they end here in industrial engineering with a salary internship. 82%. We have one of the highest in the country. We have senior design. Students, they love it. 100% sponsored by companies. We reject companies. Sometimes we have rejected NASA. Sometimes we have rejected Universal, Disney, because they come late. And our senior design, and also they are interdisciplinary. We do a lot of senior design projects with computer science, mechanical and aerospace. The majority of them are with mechanical and aerospace, and some of them get awarded at the university level. Also, one important characteristic is 20% of our students, they do research. They publish a paper with one of our professors, they go to international conferences, and they are very active. And we have some great projects. One of them is about the internet. A professor of us here, Ivan Garibay, got the $12.5 million project with DARPA, studying the ways that to avoid people from foreign countries to intervene in United States elections. And it was able to hire several undergrad students. We have a big project with aerospace that is about, with the Space Force, that is about humanitarian disasters carrying with rockets, with the SpaceX or Blue Origin. And you can see here, we have here the famous Starship here, and actually it will be with a Starship. Basically, let me explain to you a little bit about the project. This will be launched, and then, of course, as you know very well, all of this comes, and this will go. Let me change it to this one here. This is a Starship. And here it will carry 100 tons of humanitarian aid. 100 tons. At least 40 tons of that are this food that takes 6 years to still valid 6 years, and in 60 minutes it will be in any place. Therefore, in 5 hours, 4 hours to put everything in the rocket, and then in 1 hour it will be in any place on Earth. And then it will land, it will deliver totally automatically the 100 tons, and it will leave and come back to the place where it was launched. Therefore, we have more than 220 IEs undergrad working in this project. And again, if you are so good, you can apply for the Order of Pegasus. And in 2025, we are the smallest department. We got 2 Pegasus awards from our department. Francis Aguayo and Liana Alvarez, and now she works in Blue Origin. Therefore, we got 2. The smallest department in the college got 2 from an entire university. And of course, they do to do great things. You are going to, in the great alumni, you are going to listen to Rana Riyadh. She got the Pegasus Award. She worked for Lockheed Martin. She worked for Apple. She made her own company. She's now director at Google, and you are going to be listening to her. And also we have many organizations. Some of them are for all the college, like Tau Beta Pi. I am the advisor of Tau Beta Pi, the Honor Society. And you maybe will listen to other 2 ION society that is global. Let me tell you about the recent survey. We have 2 major surveys that the college they do. One of them they do it each 2 or 3 years. What you are doing 6 months after graduation. You got your degree in computer science, in electrical, and mechanical, and then they say, hey, let's see, do you have a job? That's the first question. How much salary? 6 months after graduation, IEs are the latest one of 2023, 88.4% they have a full-time job. Electrical, 77, computer science, 77%. Let me tell you more about that 6 months after graduation. Who came to graduate school? IE by far, because they have the money. Electrical, 5%, mechanical, 9.6%, and computer science, 6%. Also, we do surveys 2 to 4 years after graduation. That means you already are a full professional, you are already there. And basically, they say that one of the things that they liked the most of our department was that industrial readiness that they got. Second, they love of our department how we care about them. It's called student well-being and resilience. And the third thing that they love the most, close to my heart, they love the Capstone project advising. They love the Capstone. And I know you like to hear that. From their original salary, 3 or 4 years after graduation, the mean was $92,000. That means it grew from 72,000 to 92,000. And 88% agree that we met our objective, that we want the students successfully employed in challenging positions. They agree 88%. To achieve professional growth, we taught them to get more knowledge and, very important, show a commitment to industrial engineering, practicing with integrity, honesty, and objectivity. Again, and also how it looks the prospect for the future. They say the U.S. Labor Department says that IEs and mechanical engineers are the highest growth in the next 8 years. And after 10 years, IEs, they get one of the highest salary, number 2, with $191,000 around that. And therefore, we have been reinforcing with new minors. We have a new minor in data science that concentrates in artificial intelligence. And we have a new minor in logistics and supply chain. Again, excellent IE job opportunities, great department, starting salary 72K to 100K plus. UCF in general has a strong positive reputation with employers. And we have great masters. We have 425 master students. Even if you are from mechanical engineering, even if you are from electrical, you will be one of our master students. We have a master in systems engineering that even Blue Origin came to us, that they wanted us to teach systems engineering in their facility. That is hard for us to do. But that master in systems engineering is mainly electrical engineers and mainly mechanical and aerospace engineers. And Lockheed Martin engineers, they take that master degree. And we have 125 master students in only that master. Therefore, there is a lot of graduate research opportunities in our department with the master in industrial engineering, the master in engineering management, the master in systems engineering, and the master in science. My student in the Master of Engineering Management right now is the director of Kennedy Space Center. And the second director of Kennedy Space Center is also my student. And the person in charge of the International Space Station is my student. And the VP of Facility at SpaceX was our student. And so on and on and on. Therefore, welcome to industrial engineering. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dan. I am coming to you live from the Complex Adaptive Systems Lab in the Department of Industrial Engineering, talking about your trajectory as a college student here at UCF. I run the MS in Data Analytics and Artificial Intelligence here in the lab, and it's an opportunity for students who want to take a deeper dive into advanced analytics, advanced applications of cutting edge machine learning techniques. We offer it here at the university, and we specialize in these types of things here in the lab. So if you want to continue your education and see how far the rabbit hole goes, you can join us.
My name is Sina. I am a fourth year PhD student. My main research is human-computer interaction, specifically responsible AI. We want to see how we can make these AI models to be safer and not generate harmful stuff towards some certain groups. So I had the privilege to work on other works that with other students, so that this is the framework for drug target interaction. So for example, consider that something new like COVID happened and we want to see what drug we can produce to just tackle the situation. With the usage of these computational models, we can just come up with the new drugs that it's not possible to come up in a short amount of time with clinical trials, so it would be faster and much cheaper, and we can tackle this problem easily.
Hi, I'm Jacob Salmon. I'm a sophomore in computer science, and I'm currently working in the Complex Systems Laboratory. I started working in the lab when I was a freshman, and it's been really rewarding to build up my skills from the ground level to what I'm currently working on, which is CT scans and biomedical implants. And a lot of working in the lab is more than just about going to classes. It's about having something that you can work on in your free time to advance your understanding outside your classes. It gives you something to be passionate about and something to really look forward to.
Hi everyone, my name is Siddhi. I'm a PhD student in the Industrial Engineering Department, and my research focuses on AI explainability. So what that in essence means is it's actually a topic that actually grew in popularity after the advent of ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and all of these large language models. The premise is that when you put a prompt in any of these large language models, the responses that you get, there is no mathematical understanding of how those responses are created, and that's why we need to build some mathematics and some algorithms and models that can help us understand how these responses, where do these responses come from, and that creates the whole research area of AI explainability. So my research focuses on this idea that how does information flow in AI models, so that we can figure out that once you have put in the prompt, what kind of response is going to be generated. We are going to answer that question, we are going to create this model. I'm not going into too much of details in this, but the idea is that there are these mathematical topics of graph theory, a little bit of statistics, a little bit of information theory, and when all of those 3 or 4 paradigms combine, they give you a really neat framework in which you can analyze how AI models respond to inputs in the form of prompts in large language models. And so the basic idea is you think of the AI model as a graph, and then you do some things like clustering techniques, and then you set up these nice information flows, and they'll basically give you an idea of how these responses are generated based on the prompt you give to the LLM. So that's my research.
Hi, my name is Rana Riyad, and I graduated from UCF with a bachelor's in industrial engineering in 2014 and a master's in industrial engineering in 2015. Since I graduated, I have been in multiple different industries. I started off at Lockheed Martin actually as an intern, and I stayed there for about 7 years working in operations, in quality, and in supply chain. I then moved on with Lockheed to work on the giant aircraft, the C-130J, the F-35, the F-22, super cool, like out on the production floor. One of my favorite jobs that I've ever had. After leaving Lockheed Martin, I actually went out to California and I found myself in Silicon Valley working in consumer electronics at Apple, where I worked on the iPhone and MacBook programs. And that was an incredible experience working in operations and as a program manager, just traveling the world for them. I then started my own company. I worked in supply chain and logistics with a partner, and I loved that because it was a different world working in transportation completely, but still sticking to my IE principles of supply chain and efficiency. I then found myself back in the tech world where I am now a program manager at Google at the forefront of AI, and I work in supply chain there. So it's safe to say that as an industrial engineer, you literally can work in any industry. So, one of the pieces of advice I give to industrial engineers specifically is don't try to specialize too early. What I loved about the beginning of my career is that I got into a leadership development program that allowed me to see the areas of engineering that I liked and the ones that I didn't like. So stay curious and don't try to rush into anything. Learn what you want to do and what you don't want to do, and find out what different areas you can get involved in. Another piece of advice I give industrial engineers is to learn how to communicate properly early on. So, as an engineer, it's not about problem solving and getting the right answer. It's about communicating properly. You need to be able to communicate the solutions that you come up with so that you can get buy in and get people to act on the things that you believe in. And that's probably one of the best things that I've learned throughout my career, and you're still going to continue learning it. I'm still learning it to this day. I chose UCF in particular because I grew up in Florida. I was born and raised, and my dad would drive me around, and I remember he would drive me through the UCF campus, and this was back when I was a little kid now, early 2000s. And I would see it grow and it just looked like this like magical place, right? Where all these buildings and all these people running around and doing everything. And I knew that from that moment, just driving and every other weekend and seeing it, that I wanted to go there. And so as I grew older in high school and I started to do my research, I actually found out that UCF is an amazing college. So not only was it me going as a child and seeing the magic that was the campus, but it was, understanding that the opportunities that are there are endless. UCF was one of the best choices for me because although it's a large school, it feels like a small community. And you rarely get that. You don't get that feeling from every place that you go. And I felt that UCF gave me that opportunity. I was able to get into different clubs and organizations and still stay on top of my studies and have personal relationships with the staff and the professors. And that helped me become a better thinker. And I really loved that opportunity. And I've been to other schools, and UCF is by far the best one. Um, so the last thing I would say is that industrial engineering in particular is I enjoyed choosing that discipline the most because it taught me how to see the bigger picture. So it's not just about how a process works, right? It's about where finding the ways that it can be better. And it's a discipline that brings together logic and efficiency and that human centered approach of being empathetic. So this became my mindset throughout my career path. And it's the mindset that I still have to this day, whether it's in personal problems or professional problems. And, it's all the same. At the end of the day, you still have that strong foundation of looking at the process, analyzing the system, making it more efficient, and creating a better flow for yourself.
Hi, my name is Hannah Edmonds, and I studied industrial engineering here at UCF. I also received a minor in both hospitality management and math, and now I'm an industrial engineer at Disney World. So I did a couple of internships before working full-time at Disney during my time at UCF. So I did one with General Electric, where I focused on manufacturing, as well as one at a small company up in Oviedo called Icon Systems, where I also did manufacturing engineering, before doing 3 internships with Disney, all in the industrial engineering department, which is where I work full-time now. My biggest piece of advice for freshmen would be internship experience is extremely valuable. So make sure you get some kind of internship in. It doesn't necessarily have to be at first in the field that you want to go into, but any kind of internship or job experience is super important and very helpful to your future career. So apply on Handshake, apply on LinkedIn, apply directly on websites for companies that you'd want to work for, and see what happens no matter where you are in your career, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, no matter what year you get to be in. Internships are always so important and so valuable, and go for it and go apply for one.
Okay, let me to introduce this new society, the Industrial Engineering and Operation Management Society. This is a real global society. We have here Harsh, that is the new president. We have Max, the vice president. We have Marwan representing the graduate students, and we have Don Reimer representing the global society, the global executive committee.
All right. So IEOM is a UCF society. It's helping future engineers understand industry research, network, and meet at conferences internationally, as well as help students achieve and obtain industry-led certifications.
I can tell you a little bit about the certifications. If you join IEOM, there'll be opportunities to get your Lean Six Sigma green and yellow belt, which are very useful for industrial engineers. And it's just a good place to get research opportunities.
IEOM Society is a very unique organization. We are truly a global platform. We have within our organization 295 student chapters as of this date, represented in 61 countries. The opportunities to compete with virtual activities, many conferences around the globe. Very, very excited to have UCF join us in this vast global network. Congratulations, UCF Student Chapter.
Also, from the perspective for grad students, IUM provides many opportunities for grad students to attend conferences either online or in person all around the world. It gives students the opportunity to present their research as well as compete in different competitions, whether these are paper competitions or master thesis or doctoral dissertation competition. So I had the opportunity to compete in these different competitions, as well as attend online conferences in Istanbul and Lisbon, and I attended IUM conferences in person in Orlando, here at UCF, as well as internationally in Dubai.
Yes, our chapter won the second senior design competition. At the end of these 4 years, you have to do a capstone course, and IOM has an international. Many universities participated in that competition, and we got the second place. Also, we got the third place in a research paper among 75 universities from the world. Therefore, IOM has a lot of good opportunities. Thank you, and please join. Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome to TA Spotlight. I'm here with Zoe today. Zoe, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name's Zoe. I am one of your TAs for this semester.
What's your major?
I am aerospace engineering.
Cool, and you're a senior, right?
I am a senior, yeah.
Awesome. What else do you do on campus? I know you do a lot.
What do I not do on campus?
That's a better question.
That's a better question. So I've been pretty involved with campus over my last 4 years. So I was a housing ambassador. I was the president of Towers Area Council my freshman year, and then I contributed to RHA. I did the Housing Leadership Institute for about 3 years. And now I am the president of the Night Special Effects Club, which is called KSEX. Definitely come out and join us. And I'm also a TA, and I'm a resident assistant. I've worked in every consolidated community on campus.
Wow. Okay, so what community was your favorite?
I live in Libra right now, so I'll say Libra for now because I work there now.
Got it. Awesome. So when you're not doing all of these things on campus, what can you normally be found doing?
Well, I'm not on campus. I'm probably working. Chances are I've been working.
Probably.
So I have an extensive history of interning. So my first internship, I was with NASA. I was a Spaceport Command and Control Software Development intern with the Launch Control Center over at the Kennedy Space Center. And then they asked me to return, so I guess I did a good job. And then
so.
I returned in the fall of 2024, and I was in command and control system monitor software engineering. So slightly different, but still software. And then I thought I was going to be done because, 2 internships, 6 months of work, I felt like I did enough. And then I got another offer. So I went back to NASA in spring of 25, so this spring. And I was a fabrication technician and operations robotics intern. So I worked primarily with the first robotics circuit, which, if you don't know, it's a national circuit for robotics.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. So working at NASA, what advice do you have for students for how to end up in such an awesome position like that?
I think networking is the biggest thing. And try new things. Don't be afraid, because I'm aerospace. Why would I try software? Because I didn't know it. And it was something that I'm really happy that I had the opportunity to do. And I continued that that wasn't my last internship. That was 3 in a row, and I thought I would be done. And then I got another offer for summer, and I was at Universal Creative. So I was over on the other side of Orlando, and then I was making roller coasters, and I actually worked in pyrotechnics. So we worked on flame systems. We did the opening fireworks show for Epic, and it was really cool to see a whole nother world of engineering that I would never have seen before.
That's awesome. I see you are double repping your NASA
I
and your
am
Universal
repping.
Creative
I am
there.
repping. I also have my name tag on, so we're good.
All of your
repping.
Where's your RA name tag? That's all you need, and you got everything covered.
It's all in here. It's all in here.
There you go. So working at Epic Universe, what was the coolest thing that you got to do there that you can talk about?
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of secrecy around the park.
There is. And honestly, Epic was amazing. I worked in a brand new building that was right outside of Epic, so I did get to go in fairly frequently. I think one of the coolest things I worked on was I created an intro to pyrotechnics training. So all of the people who work at Universal in pyrotechnics have to take my training now.
Oh, wow.
Which is
That's
really, really
amazing.
cool. And that was basically like my overarching project of the summer. And then the thing that started me off, and it was like the first thing I did the first week, was we did the opening fireworks show for Epic, and that was really, really cool. One of the coolest things was we did it the night before Epic opened, and we did it the morning of. And as you know, like, fireworks in the daytime isn't always the best. So we actually worked with a vendor, and we got fireworks that shoot smoke. So they were different color smoke, so people could see them during the day.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my last question for you before we go over to GTA Corner, or go for lunch with the GTAs. What advice do you have for the freshmen?
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to fail. I think failing is the best thing. And I used to not be an extrovert. I definitely am now. So if you see me, you can come up and talk to me. But it's the best thing that you can do is rejection therapy, and get rejected and fail and be worried and be scared, because that's the only way you're going to learn. And I would rather everyone learn now when they're in college than to be down the line and you're in your career and you're scared of failing because you've never done it before. Mm-hmm. So it's okay. Struggle in your classes, get through them, and you'll be better for it.
That's some great advice. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming out today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
All right. Now we're going to send it on over to Go for Lunch with the GTAs. Hey guys, welcome back to Go for Launch with the GTAs.
How's it going?
Got a couple announcements for you guys. Today you heard from the IEMS department with Dr. Rebello. You got to tour one of their labs, hear from some of their clubs, and 2 of their really awesome alumni. You got to meet Zoe as our TA Spotlight this week. Next week we've got electrical and computer engineering. So we're quite excited to show you guys that for our Halloween episode. And then some announcements and reminders. Steel has a themed industry panel on the 17th. Go check that out. You do have to RSVP. It will be at the Rosen campus. So make sure you RSVP and that you pay attention to where it is. It's not here on the main campus. It's at Rosen out by Universal and Disney. CECE Mixer on the 30th. And Photonics has their open house on the 31st. So be sure to check those out.
Yep. And also, this week, make sure Sunday you do your Chapter 9 Excel. That's your last Excel assignment, so please get that done. Also, I just want to note what the capstone project, please do that for your black belt.
Yep, it's your black belt certification.
Yeah, that's just something that's good to do. It would definitely help you so you can get your certification in that. Also, don't forget, prototypes due next week. Your prototype launcher is due next week in lab, and then your final launcher is due the following week after that. So that should be the week of the 3rd. So November 3rd and beyond. And then also just want to mention that please, everyone, this is everyone, do your midterm peer review. This is an individual assignment, so that means everyone in your group must do it. And this is the only way that we can basically assess a group issue if there is one.
Yep, super important to be honest with that. Take your time, fill that out. That's the only way we can help you.
Yes.
So make sure you fill that out. It's super important. We do need to see that. And with your prototype launchers, just a quick note, I had some students come up and ask about how functional it needed to be. It needs to be more than a sketch and more than a CAD drawing. It's okay if it doesn't quite move all the way that you need it to, but it does need to demonstrate what the sketches that you worked on earlier this semester showcase. So make sure it's working. Your final prototype does need to work. And that's, like Robert said, is due on the 3rd.
Yep.
And with that, hope you guys have a great weekend.
Have a
Here's
good
your
one.
quiz code.